Hey everyone, welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Education Matters. We're here with Dr. Craig Douglas, who is calling in this morning. Thanks for joining us. How are you, Dr. Douglas?
Good morning, Blake. I'm well. How are you doing?
Doing great, coming off the Thanksgiving weekend and ready to get back into it. And I know students are as well. Today we're talking about the importance of school attendance. So first, Dr. Douglas, what is the difference between avoidable absences and unavoidable ones?
I thought this was a good time of the year to pose this subject for our viewers. An unavoidable absence would be, obviously, say I'm school superintendent and I cancel school because of weather. I mean, it's unavoidable. With a pandemic, we had weeks, months, even portions of school years canceled because of the pandemic. These situations are unavoidable. Used to be, we called these acts of God. In other words, they were outside our control.
Yeah.
Many times illness can be that way. I suffered a broken leg when I was a sophomore in high school and missed the first 2 weeks of the start of that school year. It was unavoidable. I couldn't do anything about it. Avoidable absences, however, are what I'd like to address today, and that's the occasional missing class, missing school. I know when I was a college senior, I was an RA, and that was the year legal drinking age was lowered, and we saw a lot of freshmen enter school and skip classes left and right.
Yeah.
Avoidable. Wrong decisions. It leads to a really, really bad ending in most cases. We now are looking at post-pandemic challenges for schools all over the nation to get in-person attendance back up where it should be.
And Dr. Douglas, would you say that there's chronic absenteeism then stemming from maybe these avoidable ones?
Yeah, in the literature, the term chronic absenteeism has cropped up with greater frequency. And there's different ways to define what would be chronic absenteeism. U.S. Department of Ed back in 2016, before the pandemic, put a number of 15 on it, 15 absences in the school year as borderline chronic absenteeism. I guess if you use an average of 1 or 2 times a month, that adds up to close to the 15 mark. So I'm just making a plea for everyone to make attendance in school a priority, in-person attendance a priority whenever possible, and not to slip into a pattern where the absences can mount up. Even as simple as coming back from a ball game late and sleeping in the next morning and missing the first 2 hours of class, not a good habit, not a good trend to set.
Absolutely not. Yeah. So how would you say parents, students, and teachers play a role in encouraging attendance?
You're so right, Blake. I think we all have a stake in this.
Yeah.
Certainly the students do, in terms of stepping up and identifying attendance as a priority and being responsible, maybe shooting for perfect attendance in a marking period or a semester or maybe even a school year. I know of some cases where students will graduate from high school having perfect attendance all 13 years of school. That's phenomenal. That's very rare, and that's very fortunate, obviously, to have that kind of health. I'm just talking about taking it one step to a time as a student. For parents, making sure they're knowledgeable of how many classes or how many days or how many hours students have missed. Almost all school systems have online access in real time to such data, and making sure parents don't make excuses for their students to miss. If it's a sickness or an illness, write the excuse.
Yeah.
But if not, if it's an avoidable absence, don't wiggle around it. Identify it for what it is and make sure the student owns up to responsibility. For schools, it means teachers having interesting and vibrant lessons so that every class period matters to the student. So they make it a priority to be in that teacher's class. And for administrators and those involved in the court system, it means making sure that truancy laws are followed, and in abuses that punishment is meted out. I hear secondhand stories of where courts are too busy to address truancy. Well, I would like to see that change if that's the case, because I think absences from school can lead to far, far greater problems down the road, and pretty quickly, I might add.
Yeah. And you know what, in my own experience, Dr. Douglas, losing a day of school, I just felt so behind after that, and it was tough to catch back up. So it's definitely an important conversation to have. Anything else that you would like to add, Dr. Douglas?
Just that it's a simple problem with a fairly simple and clear solution, but yet it remains to be a challenge. Why? I think probably the pandemic muddied the waters some, and just making it important to be in school and be present and be accountable.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming in, Dr. Douglas, this morning, calling in.
Thank you, Blake. Take care and be well.
You as well. Thank you again for all the information. And if you want to check out today's topic, you could go to the lifestyle page on our website at WNEM.com.